Hey there, and welcome back to the Straight Gamer Zone, where real gamers care about real gaming news and nonsense. We're going to get into it right after this.
You're watching Straight Gamer Zone.
All right, thank you so much for joining me. I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx, and this is Straight Gamer Zone. Our first article is about NVIDIA from WCCF Tech. NVIDIA says its future gaming GPUs will bring a 1 million times leap in path tracing performance by using RTX/AI advances. Well, keep in mind, this does not mean that you're going to get 1 million times the frame rate. I made a joke about this on X and I said 240 million frames per second. Here I come, but that's not how it actually works. They're more focusing on ray tracing, possibly path tracing, some other AI involved technologies. This is not at all anything close to improving actual rendering by 1 million times. Now, obviously, when you upscale, you're actually rendering at a lower resolution, base lower resolution, so the graphics card doesn't have to work as hard, and then you use AI technology to upscale it to a higher resolution, try to make it look as good as possible. Does generate artifacts, does generate some blurriness, can cause a boiling or sizzling of pixels, and I've been over that in one of my previous videos. But ultimately, this is a great technology for weaker graphics hardware because it allows weaker GPUs to actually render what looks better, arguably, than what they could do otherwise. But at the same time, if you've got a powerful gaming machine like I do with an RTX 5080, I tend to avoid all the AI nonsense. But what do you guys think about 1 million times leap in path tracing performance? And Game Rant is obviously out here simping for Bungie with their PSA. Don't pay attention to Marathon's review bombing. That's right. Richard Warren of Game Rant wants you to ignore all the negative reviews and instead just believe that it's a great game, because obviously a new game from a major corporation couldn't possibly be bad. It's all of us hateful, spiteful gamers that are convincing people not to like it. It's not that people actually gave it a shot during the free server slam and decided they didn't like it. That's exactly what I did. I tried it. It was kind of okay, but there were too many issues with it. I found it more annoying than anything else. Nothing about it whatsoever drew me to it. And if you jump on Metacritic, you can see what the review scores are like. And you can also see that a lot of professional games outlets are actually following Bungie's request and not reviewing it until later when Bungie can update some stuff. That is, in my opinion, collusion. It's not technically corruption, but they're colluding with corporations. The product is out now. It's being sold now for $40. You should review it now because gamers want to know now whether they should buy it. You can review it again when the new content comes out, but right now the question is, should I pay $40 for Marathon? The answer for me was no. The answer for many of you is no. Marathon numbers are not looking great. They're okay. They're somewhere between like 28,000 to 50-some thousand, occasionally hit about 60, but we're noticing a consistent dip even in the high. So what you see whenever you go on the Steam charts is that it goes up and then it goes down, then it goes up and then it goes down. And that really depends on the region as well. You might get a different result from Black Myth Wukong, where a lot of Chinese players are playing it, but Marathon seems to be mainly something in the western side of things, particularly over here in North America, our time zone, where when Americans typically go to bed later at night, you notice it dips way down. And then when Americans are usually more likely to be playing games, it goes up again. Each of those highs is getting progressively lower over time, and the weekend did not see an increase. So really, Marathon, it's not looking great. Another thing to keep in mind, Marathon versus Arc Raiders versus whatever. Bungie's a massive company. A lot of money was spent on Marathon, arguably around $250 million, allegedly. We don't know if that includes marketing. So they have to recoup all those costs, also pay the people working on the game currently, pay all the people at the studio, and maintain the servers and all that jazz. So ultimately, I don't think the current player numbers are going to sustain this game long term. Something has to change. Will Bungie be able to pull it off with their update coming supposedly later this month or early next month? I don't think so, but that remains to be seen. And we shall see. Coming at us from RPG Site, an old one, and it even looks kind of old school. Retro 3D open world RPG Dread Delusion launches on March 17th for PlayStation 5, 4, Xbox Series X, Pipe S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Why not just hit everything there? It's already been on PC. I've played it myself. There may be some questionable stuff in it. I've heard some people claim there's a few like woke type things in it. I haven't seen anything yet. I picked it up on Super Sale, hoping not to see any of that garbage. But I kind of like it. It's got a unique art style. It looks like a much older pixelated game, almost like a PlayStation 1 era graphics style. It's a bit of an open world first person RPG. So if that's your thing, if you want an open world first person semi Elder Scrolls type PS1 graphics RPG, that was a mouthful, then this may be the game to look at. And if you're on console, then good news, it's almost certainly coming to a console that you have. And oh, look at this from Club 386. It looks like NVIDIA and AMD have a rival, as Chinese GPU maker Lishuan, I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced, I'm trying guys, reveals a release date and AAA game support. So I had no idea this was coming, but manufacturer Lishuan claims its Extreme LX 7G106 GPU can run well-known AAA games, including Cyberpunk 2077. Company has also announced 18th of June as the release date for its GPU. I am very interested in this. I'm not getting it. I have no plans to get it. I got an RTX 5080. I'm happy with that for now. If AMD created something on the 80 series level, equivalent of NVIDIA's 80 series, then I would totally jump on AMD if they had something great for a good price. I would like to know, do they stand a chance to push their way into that market? NVIDIA has the majority of the graphics card market. AMD kind of has taken a little bit more of the desktop recently, but they also have a lot of chipsets in other devices like consoles and whatnot. But when it comes to desktop GPUs, it's mainly NVIDIA, some AMD, a tiny sliver for Intel. I would love to see Lishuan show up as a fourth competitor and actually push for lower prices. If this Chinese company can undercut the other three competitors, you got Intel, NVIDIA, and AMD, if they can undercut them on price and give similar or even better performance, that would be awesome. I would love to see someone come in and push these prices down, because we all know that graphics hardware has gotten way too expensive, and we need somebody to focus on real rasterization rendering and not just AI tech to make things look good. This is also going to have AI in it, obviously, because that's part of the future of graphics technology, unfortunately. You know, I don't know. We just got to deal with it, guys. What do you think? Can Lishuan show up as a competitor, or are they just going to get BTFO as soon as they release this thing? From Automaton Media, it looks like the Japanese government is making indie game developers eligible for grants of up to $60,000 USD, and I'm sure it's originally, in yen and Japanese yen, but about $60,000 to $62,000, covering production costs and promotion. So that's actually really cool, I guess, for indie developers, though I don't personally think that the government should be spending the public's tax dollars to fund video games. That just doesn't seem like an efficient use of tax dollars. Like, I know that I'm not a Japanese citizen. I did live in Japan for a while, but if I were paying Japanese taxes, my question would be, why am I paying taxes so that some indie developer can get money to make a game? I mean, you're not sending me anything to do anything with. I think, it's an unpopular opinion, but I think indies should fund their own or get funding from other sources. I don't think the government should be taking tax dollars from its people and giving them to development companies. But what do you guys think about that? I definitely know that's a controversial one, but that's where I stand on it. And we've got the good old classic Craptaku with Ethan Gach. I don't even know how to pronounce that name. Doesn't matter. I fell in love with Highguard, and now it's gone forever. Rest in peace to a real one. I don't know if this is for real. Does he really like Highguard? Come on, let's be honest. I mean, how much did this guy actually play the game? I could read through this article, but I just know it's going to be stupid, because just about everything out of Kotaku is dumb. Every now and then they have a decent article. I used to, back in the day when I worked a job where I'd get everything ready to go for the morning, and then I had this lull of there was nothing to do until stuff started. So I'd open up my laptop, Kotaku.com, boom, I'd read the articles. I'd go through and read almost every article they had on there. That's the old That's the old days. Those days are long gone. I don't go to Kotaku other than to get material for my videos. I would never just go there and read their crap. They became one of the worst supposed gaming journalism websites in the history of supposed gaming journalism. So here's one from Craptaku. Ethan Gach over here singing the praises of Long Dead Highguard. And here's a bit of news that's getting older by the minute. I think it's been roughly, 13, 15? I can't do the math in my head real quick. But since March 2nd, Snowbreak Containment Zone servers have been down. I've tried to launch the game several times to play it. I occasionally go back and play it. One of my biggest complaints is the game tends to be too easy, but a lot of gacha games are. The rumor is that some feminist group has pressured them to censor a lot of the content in the game, because this is known as basically a waifu shooter game, a waifu gacha game, where you can get all these very, very scantily clad anime chicks on your side. You can get some by default and then, do the whole gacha thing to try to get some more and put them in some pretty scandalous outfits. So apparently this feminist group allegedly had some major problem with it. And it looks like, according to the rumors, they may be taking this almost two-ish weeks to be censoring a bunch of content in the game. I certainly hope that's not the case. That's one of the things that made Snowbreak stand out. It was unabashedly, unashamedly a gooner game all the way, and I hope they stick to their guns. But that remains to be seen. What do you guys think? Snowbreak Containment Zone. Are they going the way of censorship, or is this something else? And I can't confirm whether this is true or not, especially since it's coming from Planet of Memes, but this claims that someone made an amazing find at Goodwill for only $6, a factory-sealed 1998 Diablo for PC, I'm assuming, obviously, at the thrift store for $6. The Diablo box set with the official strategy guide. I would question if it's still factory sealed or someone else just wrapped it. You can actually do that wrapping by yourself if you have the right tools for it. I don't know how legitimate this all is, but if he really did get it for $6, man, let me tell you what I would do. I'd get on eBay and turn a profit on that thing immediately. I'm not about collecting games anymore, especially games that are kind of defunct at this point. You can get Diablo through various other means. And really, I don't even have an optical drive in my system anymore. So if I got a game on CD or DVD or Blu-ray, I can't even put it on my computer. I guess I have a portable DVD/Blu-ray player that can read them, but I never use it. And coming at us from Smash JT, awesome guy. You should follow him on X and to subscribe to him on YouTube. Kotaku is big mad that he exposed the developer of 1348X Voto for using Italian tax dollars to fund the game. Apparently they got a bunch of tax breaks, maybe some other funds through various means. They got about, I think it was 700-some thousand in equivalent US dollars. But you've got Kotaku spreading their normal nonsense, saying that people didn't like the game just because that lesbian romance exists. And it upset the anti-woke chuds online. It's almost like a joke to refer to people as anti-woke chuds. Chud is a joke term nowadays. That's why I refer to myself as Mega Chud on X, because it's obviously a joke. It's even a stupid sounding word. But, leave it to Kotaku to post ridiculously stupid nonsense. Their argument seems to be that gay people apparently didn't exist. I haven't heard anyone say that. Forced DEI in games. Yes, I have heard people say that, and that is definitely a thing. We've actually seen documentation of diversity, equity, and inclusion principles being required to be put in games, most notably from Microsoft sending out to the developers saying, hey, look, you need to do these things, and they align with diversity, equity, inclusion principles. Therefore, yes, it is forced. And over on X, we've got Rohan Carr saying, once again, if you wish a death or failure of a video game, then maybe you should keep your fingers off the keyboard and seek life, because some of you are beating the literal definition of a loser. I'm not sure that's grammatically correct, but maybe he's trying to use like the new kiddo language. I'm a bit older at this point in my life. I'm in my 40s, so I don't keep up with all the new lingo out there. Maybe this is new lingo. I have to say something to that. It's my response down here. Basically, basic market capitalism. Good products should succeed. Basic market capitalism. Good products should succeed. Bad products should fail. If bad products succeed, this actually hurts the customer because more bad products will get made. The idea here is if a bad product gets made, we should go, oh, that product's not good, I'm not going to buy it. That's how this capitalism system is supposed to work. You know, it's not just supply and demand, but it's also buyer beware. You're supposed to be an intelligent buyer. You're supposed to look stuff up, try to use reviews, go online, see what other people say, and try to evaluate, okay, is this going to be a good item for me? Should I buy this blender or should I buy this blender? Imagine everyone's buying this blender, but it's a really crappy blender that doesn't blend very well. Well, they're going to make more, and then more people will buy it because they're making more and everyone's buying it. We don't want that. Obviously, if there's a crappy blender, don't buy it. It's crappy. Return it if you get it. If you buy a crappy game, return it if you can. If you know the game is going to be crappy, you see people saying it's crappy, don't buy it. We're trying to push the industry towards making better products. And in this case, we want the industry to make better games. And in order to do that, we have to see bad games fail. Sucks for the people that worked on them, but sometimes they made them bad intentionally. They made them bad by pushing ideology or other nonsense, or they just didn't focus on the things that we keep telling them that we want. So if a game is bad, yes, it should fail. All right, and it's your favorite time of the day. It's time for the cosplay of the day. Coming at us from Mint Cosplayer on X, we've got 2B from Nier Automata. Though some people say automata. You guys tell me, how do you pronounce it? How is it officially pronounced? I haven't gotten the official pronunciation, but this is definitely a good one. She's even got her eyes covered, a little more authentic. Although, honestly, obviously, right there in the chest is not authentic to any outfit I've actually seen in the game. But coming at us from Rue 1205 SR is a actually really good looking Stellar Blade cosplay. Not 100% authentic to the actual outfit from the game, that's fine. But if you look at the face, and I'm like, has this been edited? That almost looks like a model that Eve would have been based on. The face is so close. It's wild. It's crazy. But hey, I guess that's her face, you know? Wild guys. That's probably one of the best I've seen in terms of looking almost identical to Eve from Stellar Blade. And then we've got one here. I don't think it's specifically from a video game, but it just looked kind of cool. This one's from AKLCOSSUB. Sometimes these names are a bit weird, the user handles, but there you go. You can take a look at that one. Obviously, if you're a fan of the color black, that's a nice outfit. And from I'm assuming she's going for Mutseki Suzu, but it's at MUTEKI_SUZU. We've got this outfit, not so much cosplay as is just a really awesome outfit, and I did post this and say that this is the ideal length skirt for a woman. You may not agree with it, but it's true. And then coming at us from Marie_SEIXO, this definitely looks like some kind of cosplay that I don't immediately recognize, but it looks awesome. I thought it just looked really well done. If you guys recognize it, let me know what it is in the comment section below. But always, you know, cool to see cool cosplay, even if you don't know what it's cosplay of. And our last one of the day is at Yona_PIP. This one is from Arknight Infield, or Arknights Infield, I think it's actually called. This one I do immediately recognize. She's one of the main characters that they show on the cover art for it. But this is actually some pretty solid looking, authentic to the game cosplay. It looks pretty much like her. You can see her in the back on the monitor right there. Looking very close, even in the face, even though it's, you know, anime face versus real face with makeup and obviously all of that other stuff, but does actually look like her, pretty similar body type and everything. So excellent job here by Yona Pip. Well done. In from X-user at Fantasy Anime. He says this is a small taste of what a Chrono Trigger HD 2D remake might look like. He said it was made by Hydlide S. You can watch the full video at YouTube, but let's just take a look at this video briefly. You're going to see it in small frame here, but I gotta say, not a big fan. I would not want to play like that, but I guess it's cool for people who like that style. Looks more like Octopath Traveler style. What do you guys think? Would you want to play Chrono Trigger like this, or do you prefer the regular old 2D pixel art? And this is one that's been sitting around in my bookmarks for a long time now, but coming at us from at ComputerLove_Computer Records, this is an abandoned Game Boy mailbox in the Mount Shikoku, Kagawa, Japan region. I did not get a chance to go visit this when I was in Japan. I didn't even know it existed, but obviously this is really cool. I would have loved to have actually gone there and taken a picture with it and taken a good look at it. It looks really awesome. Obviously, this was probably much cooler back in the day when the Game Boy was newer. I'm sure they put it up back then. But kind of sad to see that it's looking defunct and abandoned. But you know what? Still cool. And coming at us from Pirate Nation, he says that someone created a website to track game flops in real time, live tracking with live charts, trend analysis in chat. It's called Flopathon. So if you're tired of going to steam.db to get all your charts and whatnot, well, why not go to Flopathon and check it out in real time and watch games fail? After all, bad products should fail. So if a product is bad, it's kind of fun to watch it fail because it's not good, and obviously, you don't want a bad product to succeed. You could watch a marathon fail. I mean, marathons do okay-ish, but not so much for the size and scope of the studio and how much they spent on it. But 1348 Ex Voto, that's a total flop, and I did an entire video about that, link in the description down below. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. That is it for today. This has been Straight Gamer Zone for March 15th, 2026. I'm Fox with RealMarcFoxx. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, notification bell icon, and leave a comment about any of the topics I discuss or anything else. And you can always ask me a question down below. I may actually answer it in the next episode. Thanks again, everyone, and remember, no real gamer uses motion blur. See you next time.